So this is a review of word problems, and it's 2D and 3D, so the next video will be, or the next problem will be 3D. So a ladder is leaned against a wall. The ladder is 12 feet long. The bottom of the ladder is 3 feet from the bottom of the wall. How high up the wall does the ladder hit? So the first thing you always want to do with word problems is draw a picture. So I'm going to draw a fancy ladder. So there's my ladder. It says that the ladder is 12 feet long. So my ladder is leaning against a house and the ladder is 12 feet long. The bottom of the ladder, so this is the bottom of the ladder, is 3 feet from the bottom of the wall. So that means this is 3 feet. So there's the wall. The ladder's leaning against the wall, and the bottom of the ladder is 3 feet away. Now, as long as your house is built properly, or your wall is built properly, you don't want the leaning tower of Pisa, or however you say that. So as long as your wall is straight up and down, which it doesn't say it's not, so you're going to assume that it's a normal wall that's straight up, and so that would be our 90 degree. So always remember, you have to figure out your A, B, and C, or your two legs with your hypotenuse. So I always like to think about it as you can see that this side is across from the 90 degree angle, so that's your C, or your hypotenuse. So our hypotenuse is 12. This would be one of our legs, so A or B, I'll just use A, and then we're looking for B. So B is what we're looking for, because we're looking how high up does the ladder hit the wall. So again, you're missing a side of the triangle, so you're going to do A squared, or 3 squared, plus B squared, which we don't know what that is, equals 12 squared. So 3 squared plus B squared equals 12 squared. You're going to use a calculator to determine what those values are. So I'm going to use my iPhone. You can use your calculator on your computer or whatever. So we're going to do 3 squared. So 3 times 3 is 9 equals 12 squared. So 12 times 12 is 144. Okay, now when you are missing the leg of the triangle, you are going to have to subtract this away. So I'm going to do minus 9 minus 9. So you would do B squared equals, we're going to do 144 minus 9 gives us 135. Okay, the next thing that you're going to do is the square root. So we're going to take the square root. Remember, on your calculator, you have to unlock it. Sorry, hopefully that wasn't loud. So you're going to unlock it. Once it's unlocked, you'll be able to hit the square root button. On iPhone, you have to have the number typed in first and then hit that button. So it would be B equals 11 point, and I forgot to write that this is rounded to the nearest tenths. So that's 1 decimal. So 11.61895, and I'm going to stop there. So tenths place. So that's only 1 decimal, so I like to underline the number of decimals I need. So in this case it's 6. You look at the next number. What does that 1 make the 6 do? Does it round up or does it stay the same? Well, it stays the same, so 11.6. So the ladder is 11.6 feet up the wall. So you could think about like a firefighter, and they're trying to decide how long of a ladder they need so that they can get to a window that's so high up or whatever. Always draw a picture on these word problems if there's not already one given. Okay, now we're going to do 3D. Now I know this is where you guys struggled the most. So look at your box or cube or rectangular prism, and we're looking for the length of the diagonal. So this is the length that we're looking for. We're trying to see how long of an object can fit into this box. Well, if you look, there is a triangle. If you use that side of the wall, which is also the same as that side, so that's 17. And then notice this length that's going across the bottom here. That is our triangle. So if I draw that triangle over here, we know that this side is 17. We don't know this side, so I'm going to draw this triangle in a different color just so that you can see it. This is a right angle. This is a right angle right there. We know that this side right here is 12. This side right here is 5, so this side is also 5. So in order to be able to decide this leg of that big right triangle that's through the middle of the prism, we have to figure out what that length is. Well, you can't solve for two unknowns at the same time. You can only do one. So I need to find this length first before I can find this length right here. And notice this length is the same as that one. That's where those two match up. Okay, so again, I know 3D problems are hard. I know those 3D problems are hard, but you just kind of have to look at it and take it in slices. We can see that triangle that's right there, and that's the 5 by 12 triangle. But we're trying to find the hypotenuse of this triangle that you see right there. So we're going to do Pythagorean theorem. 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. 5 times 5 is 25 plus 12 squared. 12 times 12 is 144 equals c squared. 25 plus 144 is 169. Okay, take the square root, take the square root. So take the square root, which is 13. So 13 equals c. So that 13 is that diagonal of the bottom, or the hypotenuse of that bottom, which becomes the leg of that big triangle. So then we need to do the Pythagorean theorem again to find this hypotenuse. So then we're going to do 17 squared plus 13 squared equals c squared. So you would do 17 times 7, not plus, 17 times 17 is 289, plus 13 times 13 is 169. So 289 plus 169 is 458. Shh, buddy. And then take the square root. Take the square root. Is 21.40093. Again, we're going to round to one decimal place, so it'd be 21.4. Notice, it has to be the longest of the entire thing. So there cannot be a number larger than it that you've found or is given. So if you had like 13, you know that that's not the final answer because it's got to be bigger than 17. So that is your review. Remember, draw a picture, try to find triangles so that you can use Pythagorean theorem.